Hi everybody, I've got a Chunky Monkey journal here today, and it measures 7.5 by 5.25. And I put that gorgeous lace on it, and it's got a floral print behind it, and I stitched around the edges. And on the cover I've got a whole bunch of different fabrics and a big seam binding bow and a pretty piece of beige lace, a little postcard and a vintage lady, some stamps, some seam binding here and a rose, and there's the spine and the back. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. And I used twisted sari silk for the closure. And let's go inside. It is a big boy. On the inside, the pockets are short, and I didn't decorate them. This is so beautiful that I just left it as is, but I did put in a couple of cards here with different fabrics and some butterflies and a pearl. And it opens up. A little gorgeous book page there. Coffee dyed. And this is a little booklet, and it's got an image on the front and the back, and then I put over it a little angel and some ribbon, lace ribbon, and I left the edges raw, like I always do. And on the inside it's got a little pocket to tuck something in, and all different kinds of papers in here, book pages and coffee dyed paper, some ephemera, place to tuck something if you need it, another pocket in the back. On this page I used pink stitching to stitch all the way around the edges, and again they're roughed. All different kinds of papers and things in this. Got some stamping back here. A pretty image of two ladies picking flowers on a piece of ephemera. Love this picture. Look at the parasols and the dresses. Really neat. And I just put some coffee dyed papers in here. And got a little button, some laces, and some eyelet fabric. Over here's another piece of ephemera with a place to journal here, and stitched around, and the edges are nice and roughed and inked. Just a little piece of fabric, stitching down the edge there. Just got a mixture of all different kinds of stuff, different size pages. Got the floral stitching, leaf stitching I should say, around here. And this is from the other side. It sticks over. Little piece of fabric that I stitched around. Another piece of ephemera with a nice journaling card here. Little double pocket here in the front. Got some little mini cards for journaling. And behind it is another tuck spot with some coffee dyed papers and some fabrics. Got a little seam binding bow there with some lace on a real pretty floral background. And that's from the other side again. Just a nice piece of linen. Pretty flowers. Look at the contrast, love it. Another piece of fabric. Little children sitting on a fence. On a piece of ephemera. Real pretty. Real pretty. Another journaling space here. This is a double tuck spot. In the front, got the Eiffel Tower and then some fabric back here with some stitching. And the little mini label tag with some seam binding and a clock. And behind it, some more journaling cards with fabrics, and they're all different kinds of fabrics. And you got the stitching from the other side. Little journaling card that I stitched around and attached to the page. Did a little stencil there. Washing clothes in a outside in a big tub. Boy, be thankful we have machines nowadays. Woo! But one shirt wear me out. That's the stitching from the other side. Over here is a little tuck spot. You could write on that. A little bit of stenciling with some ladies. And some different cards with fabrics. And stamping. And then it's a piece of ledger paper behind. Over here's another tuck spot with a real pretty, all different kinds of fabrics and a pearl. And that's just there to hold everything in place. With some coffee dyed papers. Little stitching there. A pretty shoe with some fabric here. This folds out. A little bit of stitching. And over here's a pocket with some seam binding here. There's seam binding on this giant tag with script writing. And very faint lined paper on the back. A little ruffle up here, that's the stitching from the other side. Another pocket. Look at how tight these dresses are. Gosh, they must have felt so confined. Whew. And some journaling cards. It's not glued down on all three sides, so it's easy to get papers in and out. Little mini place to journal and some stitching. Another pocket with a perfume bottle and a piece of ledger paper in the background that's been stitched around, and a little mini stenciling. And then some cards. Different fabrics and fuzzies and all kinds of fun stuff. Cute. Love the fuzzies. And here's another tuck spot. I put things at the bottom so that the cards don't slide out of the book, because that drives me insane. Got this is actually part of an old shirt. Different fabrics. And this is another one of those embellishments that we make here, and it's got different fabrics and tulle and all kinds of stuff layered. And this is a lace belly band that I stitched around. Another nice place to journal with a Perry Mason pen. Perry Mason. Cracks me up. Two girls reading on a piece of ephemera for the background. Another piece of fabric here. Contrasting paper. Pretty. Little fabric tab here. This is another pocket, and it's got a real pretty floral background and some lace there, seam binding there with a vintage lady, and a little index card that's got napkin decoupage and stamping on it. We don't want his feet showing, I want his head showing. There we go. And then another card here, different fabrics. So it sticks out that way. Love that. Little laces up here and stitching. Another piece of ephemera. Little pocket over here with a lace bow, and I tied it with gold. And a journaling card there. And there. And stitching down the edge. Pretty card and fabric. Little tuck spot here with one of my favorite images. Love those ladies. I love the hat. I mean, it's crazy. It has hanging downs. And look at how cute. Isn't that cute? Little stamping there. All different kinds of stuff. And I just leave the threads. If they drive you crazy, just snip them off. And then the back pocket is the same as the front. And I just put several journaling cards. Isn't it cute? Some stamping. And the snippets. Lots of different papers. And a little mini booklet. Different fabrics and stuff. Papers. There's a little journaling. Some ephemera here. $2.62 for a wicker chair. Yeah, I'll take 100. How fun. And the back is almost a quilted fabric. Real thick. And then I stitched around it a whole bunch of times too. Stand there. There's the back again with the twisted, it's delightful twisted seam binding that's been sewn. And the front. And that is it for this journal. Well, thank you so much for being here. As always, appreciate you. And I will see you very shortly in the next video. Bye-bye.